Om Shri Sai Ram. Humble prostrations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master, Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Gita Vahini, Chapter 27. Abandoning pride in the ego and its possessions, feelings of I and mine, and surrendering. Summary. The individual soul obscured by egotism or ahankara is not able to reveal the splendor of the true knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Tattva, which is its treasured possession. The state of desirelessness is really the state of egolessness. The Gita teaches giving up all attachment to the fruit of action as the greatest spiritual discipline designed for this purpose. Whether desired or discarded, hoped for or not, every act ends in some consequence. The consequence may be good or evil, but if the act is dedicated to the Lord, neither will affect the doer. On the other hand, acts performed under the inspiration of the ego will be fraught with bondage. Become devoid of mindness. Then you attain moksha, salvation. Krishna said, "Give up all dharmas and surrender to me. I shall liberate you from all sin." That is to say, give up pride in the ego, ahankara, and in possessions and mindness, that is, mamakara. One has to give up the twin activities of commission and omission, resolving or sankalpa and doubting or vikalpa. One has to follow the Lord's commands, to accept His will and be happy wherever He has placed them. Some people select from the words of the Lord only the portions that favor their inclinations. Give up all feelings of obligations and responsibilities. Surrender to me alone. Mam ekam sharanam vraja, says the Lord. Have they surrendered thus? Note that the Lord said, abandon all dharmas, sarva dharman parityajya, and not abandon all actions, sarva karman parityajya. Perform all acts enjoined by the scriptures for this sake in the spirit of dedication, with no eye on the fruits thereof. This is true renunciation of the fruit of action, nishkama karma. Do all duties as acts of worship, as offerings to God. That is the sole task. Leave the rest to Him. The mansion of Gita is the mansion of truth and dharma, erected on the soil of India for the benefit of the world. Study it with faith and devotion. Experience the curative and restorative effects of its teachings by actual practice. Acquire the grace of the Lord by implicit obedience to the rules of life laid down by Him. When that grace is won, there is no need to pray separately for liberation. He will confer what you deserve and what is beneficial. Yearn for Him. Suffer anguish for Him. Then there is no need to yearn for moksha. Those who seek to escape from this cycle of birth and death must obey the command of the Lord as laid down in the Gita and surrender to Him. Then they will be crowned with success in every undertaking. They will achieve victory. Key takeaways from this chapter. First, the ego is often mistaken to be just self-pride, but it is in reality the false sense of identity that we hold on to, that defines us, being a particular gender, religion, or having some specific likes and dislikes, and sense of differences, like some who are meant to be ours, like our parents and children, while others are not. The ego defines us, and society fans this concept. So ironically, it is in effect perhaps our most precious possession in a worldly sense, and the biggest hurdle to us in a spiritual sense. Can we trust the Lord to let His word and will prevail over ours? Second, Abandonment of dharmas is not meant to be either a state of lawlessness or one of inaction. It is a state of surrender to the highest will, in the attitude that He is the sole doer and knower of the truth from untruth, and a willingness to be a mere instrument in His hand, to be played as He wills, whatever be the consequences born. This act appears to be one of complete servility and meekness, but in reality requires the greatest strength of will and character to effect in both letter and spirit. Third, selective cherry-picking of truths that support our inclinations and ignoring or twisting of others is intrinsic in the world of duality, with a set of likes and dislikes, inclusions and exclusions that we live in. Spotting this intrinsic tendency takes a strong discriminating mind, and then in moving to conscious acceptance of both the letter and the spirit of the Lord lies the secret to spiritual success for the sincere aspirant. Fourth, while the wise say that liberation is the highest goal, the true understanding of what that really means is far from our own conception. However, what is clearly within our current abilities is to see through the transitory nature of the world and its lures and pains, and to cultivate intense yearning for the Lord for His own sake and nothing else. Let us reflect on our learnings from this Vahini and practice these two lessons and leave all that follows in His hands. End of chapter 27. Jai Sai Ram.